In Baltimore, the protests over the murder of Freddie Gray by police have turned violent as rioting and looting have broken out. And here, behind me, we see perhaps the worst looter ever. "I got me a 12-pack of toilet paper. Suck on that, pigs." I personally would have gone for the paper towels. Or maybe even the chiclets. Speaking of tragedies, a dark, twisted part of me always wanted to witness a plane crash. Not because I want a bunch of people to die in a fiery ball of death. I just think it'd be pretty cool to see a plane crash, that's all. But the odds of witnessing a plane crash are about as likely as a cyclops purchasing a 3D television. But I guess I should be grateful I get to witness the next best thing to watching a plane crash as Bruce Jenner transitions into a woman. Speaking of horrific accidents, 6 people died in New York when a train crashed into an SUV that was parked on the tracks. 3 were top investment bankers. 50%. Not bad. I can live with 50%. A lot of bankers seem to be dropping off like flies lately. Back in December, a banker in London fell 60 feet from his penthouse window and impaled himself on a fence. Which makes me think, I could really go for some shish kebab right about now. The body was stuck there for hours before firemen cut the fence to get it down, which I think was a big mistake. I think they should have left the son of a bitch up there until he rotted into a skeleton as a warning to all the other banksters. And as a further bonus, nothing screams tourist attraction more than skeletal remains impaled on a fence. Just saying. Speaking of bankers, former IMF boss Dominique Strauss-Kahn admitted before a French court that he attended a sex party at the IMF's Washington office, but never paid for the services of the prostitute involved. So he's effectively admitted outright in a court of law that he stiffs hookers. Just thought I'd warn all the prostitutes out there. Dominique Strauss-Kahn is a deadbeat. Don't fuck him. Hertz Rental Cars has been caught putting cameras in their cars. But not to worry, a spokesman from Hertz stated, "We have no plans to actually use them." Which to me is sort of like a rapist claiming he has no plan to ejaculate. Speaking of rape, while performing a recent show in Baltimore, Bill Cosby was confronted by a heckler in the audience who shouted out, "Tell the one about how to get away with rape!" But Bill responded with pure comedic genius when he spiked the heckler's coat with a roofie and proceeded to rape the shit out of his lifeless body to a snickering audience. +1 for Bill. Well, make that +41 for Bill. And counting. A U.S. State Department spokesperson said, "We can't stop ISIS by killing them. We need to give them jobs." Which strikes me as being redundant considering that the U.S. already funds ISIS. Maybe the State Department meant to say they should consider giving them different jobs. Like jobs that don't involve head chopping, cannibalism, and destabilizing sovereign nations to enrich U.S. corporations and central banks. The University of Maryland canceled an upcoming screening of American Sniper after Muslim students protested saying the film was Islamophobic, racist, and nationalistic. No loss there. American Sniper should have been called American Diaper, 'cause it's full of shit. I'd rather watch a movie about a sadistic boy who smashes ants with a hammer. The only good part was when that faggot serial murdering coward Chris Kyle got shot and killed at close range by his own kind. Great implementation of irony and poetic justice there. In Connecticut, the town of Newton voted to demolish the house where Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook shooter lived, with one resident saying it's a constant reminder of the evil that resided there. Which seems wasteful to me. I say it's more evil to not give the house to a homeless family than needlessly tear it down. Besides, we've had countless genocidal murderers in the White House, and I don't see anyone demolishing that beacon of evil to the world. Recent lab tests conducted by GMO Free USA verified that Fruit Loops contain high levels of GMO and glyphosate herbicides. But even worse than that, virtually no toucan meat whatsoever. A 19-year-old student at Oregon State University, Kendra Sunderland, was charged with public indecency after the fact when she posted a video on the internet of herself masturbating in the university library where nobody noticed. Which begs the obvious philosophical question. If a woman masturbates in public with no one around to see, is there a crime? A Christian woman in Tennessee was deeply disturbed about pentagram-shaped taillights on school buses and petitioned the bus company to change them to circles. She was afraid that the taillights could be part of a ritual to summon Satan. As a practicing Satanist myself, I'm not totally unsympathetic in that I'm greatly concerned by the plethora of crosses on my waffles. Perhaps all of us Christians and Satanists should put our differences aside and stand together with the common cause of banning all geometrical shapes. Speaking of subjectivity, some students at Stevenson College in California accused the school of racism after they were served Mexican food during a sci-fi theme night. The students were offended because of the association between space aliens and illegal aliens. That is racist. They should have served chink food. And with that, this concludes this edition of News from Deep Space. End transmission. Over and out. Seems like there should be some heavy metal music at the end there.